Now, who was that first spiritual experience they'd like to share with the rest of us? I anticipate a very powerful class tonight. And Happy New Year to you all. Bless.
Same to you.
Oh, thank you. We got to have not only a new year, but an effective new year. We're going to start off right with some transformational information. Who's got their first spiritual experience for that?
I have a point to make.
Okay, very good.
Rahul Bat.
Rahul Bat, glad to hear my duty. Sister,
Hello?
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay. Sister, you have a spiritual experience you want to share? Mm-hmm.
Yes. I just wanted to say, well, it's not a spiritual experience. I just wanted to say for the last few days, I guess I noticed it right after New Year. In the morning, I'm hearing the birds sing. So it's been cold here, but it's like, I don't know, they've not migrated or something. I'm not sure, but
you're not hearing them
I
sing?
can hear them. I am hearing them sing.
Oh, very good. I think that's a good sign. Anybody else knows the change in the birds? Anybody else knows the change in the birds?
I have.
Okay, what did you notice?
Well, I've noticed that. See, we have a bird seed right outside our master bedroom window.
Mm-hmm.
And when I be playing, these classes, I notice that the birds hang around the bird seed longer.
Oh.
It's as if they're listening.
All right. That's a good sign of transformation as well.
Yeah.
All right. I want to make sure that everybody getting their packages. Can you all tell me my name? Who all gonna have their packages right now?
I got mine.
Very
People.
good. Say it again.
This is on time.
Okay, that's you, Menkare?
Katat, I got mine.
Oh, Katat. Okay, very good. Because Menkare, I just sent his out the day before yesterday. And Maduti, yours is coming to priority. Now, who was that first question?
Okay, I got one.
I'll do my best. Go ahead, sister.
My question is, before we were told that 2030 would be the last pickup, can you explain that in relation to Ascension and the event? And you said everybody will, do it at different times. Can you explain the significance of 2030?
Yes, 2030 will be the last day that Nibiru will be within reach. Right now, it's parked on the other side of the Kuiper belt. Other side of the asteroid belt. All right? You have to know that when you leave here, that you have to make a stop on Mars. We always have to make a stop on Mars. Okay? Because when Alelu made his passage from Nibiru to Earth, before they discovered the noob or the gold on Earth, he had to cut a pathway through the asteroid belt, or what they described as the hammered bracelet. And he was a master captain, that knew how to navigate a ship. But he used a Tillam beam, a laser beam, like on these video games, to blow up the asteroids that were in his way. Are you following me? So he cut a path, a pathway, and he went to Mars first. So we all still use that same pathway to get out of here. To get back to the future. Are you following? And 2030 is when the view makes its final. Please mute your phone. Stop. Yes, all right. August 12th, 2030 is going to be the final pickup before Nibiru makes it. In other words, most of your Anunnaki and your graves, many of your graves have already left, and they're back on Nibiru. Are you following me? But But now, you have a lot of Riskians that are still standing by, and you have some Anunnaki, of course, right? But I am the last elder. I am Amun-Rayay, the last elder, and I'm here to pick up not the stragglers, but the last ones to reach spiritual maturity that are going to be qualified to make this trip. Are you following what I'm saying? And that's why tonight's class is going to be so very important. I'm going to walk you all through some meditation that's going to show you what we need to do in order to transform and turn ourselves inside out, make that journey within. Are you following me? Now, the way I started out, it might seem a little redundant, but it's necessary. So I'm going to slow it down and make sure for any new people they understand very clearly what it is I'm communicating. I want you all to try to see this. Now, before I get started, I'd like to address that next question, please.
Okay, my question was, I had one, and my question was about the Akashic records being a strange thing. Could you elaborate on that? The Akashic records? Yes.
Do you want to know what they are?
No, just about, us being able to have access to them or gain access to them.
That's what tonight is going to be about. Because you have to understand one thing very clearly. The only thing here, once you can establish this fact, the only thing here is Fa'ut. You hear me? Fa'ut merely shares and we become, creating the illusion of individuality. But we're all one. Now you have disagreeable beings that try to break away from that concept and they want to be an individual. That's the nature of the fallen angel. Individualism stand out to be different. You have some women that are so obsessed with that if they live in a city, a big city like Philadelphia, they go to a ball and another woman got the same dress as them, they get so offended they want the woman to go home and change, or they'll go home and change. You follow me? Brothers want to have a standout car, a standout woman, a standout house. They want to be different from something nobody else has got. Right? But there's strength in unity. That's why you find in parochial schools that rather than everybody have a dress code where they can do their own thing, they have a uniform code. And you have a lot more harmony in the school. Because you can't make a distinction between the children the haves and the have-nots, for example. It's more uniform. So you can't tell the poor children from the children that are well off by them wearing name brand things and other people wearing stuff from rummage sales. The same thing with the military. When you want everybody to have like mind, you have a uniform dress code to make them all think as a unit, they think as one. Are you following? But that's one reason why they say that white folks stereotype you all. You understand? And they're monotype. White people are monotype. They usually look the same, wear the same kind of clothes, etc. You know what I mean? But niggas want to stand out and be different and unique, which is okay, but it causes a fracture, it causes separation. One person wants to show that they live better, in better conditions, better housing, better clothes, better cars, and they're better. What the message is that they're better. And the truth is there is no big or small in the eye of all. It's only an illusion. But that illusion creates the confusion. Now, as far as the Akasha records, that's almost like you can compare that to what you call in computer the cloud, where you can store unlimited amounts of information. Let me say for people that don't know, when you walk out to get your mail, for example, you walk across your lawn and you leave an etheric blueprint of every step, every thought and every action. All the way to the mailbox and all the way back, there's a permanent record of what you're thinking and how you're moving, your bodily functions, temperature, heart rate, all these things are being recorded. That's the CashApp records. All that information from time immemorial has been recorded. Even the future is already recorded in all. The thing is that when you start dealing with separation, and I'm the one, and this and that and the other, you break away from the oneness, and you lose your ability, you see, to access the CashApp records, which is in the mind of all. And that's just only one of the problems that you have in separation. To make it clear to you, again, if you can imagine all of us standing around in a circle in a large auditorium in the dark, and then I put a 200-watt lamp in the middle of the circle, turn the bulb on, and all the rays and warmth that emanate from that bulb, we bask in the rays of that light. That light is symbolic of Fa'u, the light of the heavens and the earth. And we all bask in the rays of the oneness. But then I'll step out the circle and I cover up the light, that bright light, with a black lampshade and tape it around the bottom. Now all of a sudden I've hidden our light, in essence, under a bushel basket. Right? But if I give every one of you all in a circle a straight pin or a needle, and one by one I ask you to walk forward and poke a tiny little hole in that black lampshade and step back into the circle, pretty soon it'll be a 360-degree line of circles all the way around, pinpoint circles all the way around that black lampshade. And everywhere there's a little hole, that light's going to stream out and hit you in your chest in Florida, you in your chest in Texas, you in your chest in Virginia, you in your chest in Tennessee, you in your chest in London. And that creates the illusion of individuality, because you think that you are God and that's your light. I'm shining over here. This is my light. It also creates the illusion of here and there. Because if your light is shining out your hole over there, you think that you're in Georgia. And if somebody else's light is shining this way, then they think that they're in Virginia. You understand? And it also creates the illusion of you and me, because you assume you have your personal light and I have mine. But tonight, I'm going to walk up into the middle of the circle and snatch that black lampshade off and step back in the circle until you all remember. You don't have your light, me, mine. It's only one light. It's only one. It's quantum physics. And anybody by now that doesn't understand quantum physics doesn't have a good understanding or overstanding of what's really happening here. It's quantum entanglement. We're all connected. We're all part of this oneness. And those that get left behind are the ones that can't accept that. They just fighting in every way to stand out and be unique and an individual. They want more of this than everybody else, or to look better, or this and that and the other. They want to separate themselves in some way so that they don't identify with, they're not a part of the crowd, they're not part of the oneness. Are you following me? Now, as far as those individuals that will not break that thought pattern and they want to be unique and individuals, pretty soon you're going to hear them hollering about how cold life is. Things are just not going their way. It's a cold world to them. Because what's happened is that light of the heavens and the earth gives off not only light, but also heat and warmth. And my question is, do you think the Creator has turned his back on you or me? Yes or no?
No.
No.
So what's happened? We've in some way turned our back on the Creator, right?
Yes.
And the more we try to separate ourselves and make ourselves unique and be an individual, a shaitan, the further away we get from the light and the colder the world gets until we live out of darkness. We that far so far from the light, we don't even remember the warmth of the light at all. We just live in a cold, dark reality. And what you call hell, we've cut ourselves off. You see what I mean?
Yes.
That's not good. So it's just something for all of us to think about when we strive to be hard and different and unique and this and that and the other and I don't go for that and I'm different, not this me and this and that. You know what I mean? Come on now. We're one family. All right. Now, I'd like you all to participate in a meditation with me. After I go through this description, you know that your body is the illusion. Just like a car body, it's without repose. It's only animated by the presence of the driver. But it's just cold steel without you. Empty. Lifeless. Your body is the same way without the presence of the Most High. You understand? He created you of sounding clay, your vessel, earthen vessel of sounding clay of black mud fashioned into shape. When he made complete your form, he blew into your nostrils his breath of life, which was the very essence at the core of the Creator himself, and as such is a part of him. I'm telling you all, in short, that ye are all gods. All of you are children of the Most High. As it says in Psalms 82, God, capital G singular, standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth amongst the gods, small g, s, plural, you the little gods. John 10 of the Bible, write it down. Jesus speaking to the Jews in the first person, he said, I and my Father are one. One. The Jews took up stones again to stone him. That's how he performed the miracles. He was one with God, and God was one with him. The Jews took up stones again to stone him. He said, many good works have I shewed you. For which of those works do ye stone me? They said, for a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy, because that thou, being a man, maketh thyself God. Jesus answered them, is it not written in your law, I said, ye are gods, S? And if he called them gods, unto whom the word of God came in the flesh, and the scriptures cannot be broken. So yes, you are all gods. But if you turn your back on that, you become what they described as devils. Cold, hard devils, cut off and miserable. Or if you intimidate the chosen one, because that is the cause of your suffering, the reason for your misery and your pain. All right. Now, that light that's inside of you that he shared, the essence of you is called the Trinity. When he speak of God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost, you know, we're speaking about your etheric aspect, your Ba and your Ankh. Your Ankh, Ba, and Ka. That's the real trinity of you. the etheric aspect, the soulful aspect, and the spiritual aspect. That's not your fleshly body. All right. Your spirit, that inner being, is the blueprint for your physical form. It creates a physical duplicate of itself in this lower vibration where you take on the magnetic grid and you attract magnetic particles to that light that cling to the light to create an outside beshar or skin, like the invisible man putting on clothes, so we can actually see a spirit in the physical form you call a body. And you change them clothes circularly through cycles of what you call birth and death. Just like in this world, you change seasonal clothes for fall, spring, and summer. But the inhabitant inside remains the same, timeless. All right? Now, during the day, we're going to call that inner being your spirit. Your spirit and your flesh are like equally matched warriors, grappling for dominance. So that you have a will balancing between the two. If you're undecided about something to eat, and I'm going to repeat these things the exact same way so that you can repeat them. You go to the refrigerator and you have a taste for a pig foot. That's the carnal self, the lower self, the devil, because you know it's forbidden, haram. Inahu haram. It is forbidden. But your higher self, or God inside the temple, is going to tell you don't need that. Like the devil on one shoulder, the angel on the next. And you have reasoned argument, which is akin to sorcery. I'm a grown man or a grown woman. I can have what I want back and forth. You don't need that. Get the salad. Until sometimes you can get so involved that you speak outwardly. And somebody else in the home, your wife or your child, can say, Mom and Daddy, who are you talking to in there? And you laugh and confess, you caught me. I'm in here talking to myself. That's really a conversation between God and the devil. Now at night, when you go to sleep, the physical body and the brain shuts down for slumber because they're mortal. And not having any opposition, the spirit raises up in vibration. That spiritual ball of light travels up the light corridor of your spine. That's what they speak of biblically as Jacob's ladder. Your spinal column is Jacob's ladder. Every night, the real you as a light being, whole light being, starts traveling up your spinal column to ascend, tab that, one plane after another, because you have 7 planes, 7 chakras inside of your body. And each one of those notches in your spine is a rung or a step in that ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder way up high. Because you know that the prophet, as he slept, he dreamed, and he had a vision that he saw the angels ascending and descending up and down Jacob's ladder from heaven to earth and from earth back to heaven. Remember that. But know that his eyes were closed because he was sleeping, so it was no external vision. It was within him that he saw that. That's the greater reality. When your light ascends up past the abdominal seat, the lotus breastplate, to the laryngeal seat, even up to the pineal gland, or the third eye, and raises up to the crown mold at the top of your head. you have a thin, transparent, hollow tube called an etheric cord that's attached to the top of your head. It's real thin, about the diameter of a thread, and it's hollow and transparent. It's likened to the umbilical cord that attaches the baby to the walls of the uterus in the mother, so that when the baby is born, the cord is cut and the baby dies from out of one reality, but still, even held by the doctor, is a spiritual entity because it's not using the external atmosphere, the sun. It's using its internal sun for warmth, and it's not using its lungs to breathe because it was using its gills inside the mother, breathing under the water in gill pouches, not stewed to the gills, but gill pouches, amniotic fluid. My water broke. That's why they call it a navel. It has to do with marina or water. But now, when the doctor turns the baby upside down by the feet, he spanks it. When he does that, it creates pain that causes the baby to do what? Now, in order to cry, the baby has to do what? Has to inhale. It's forced to take a breath to cry. So it inhales the oxygen through the nostrils or the pyramid on its face. That's also mixed with a substance called prana by the Greeks and secum by the Egyptians, which is the life force emanating from the sun. And it goes up through the nostrils into the circulatory system, this oxygen, which is very flammable gas. And it circulates, starts going around your circulatory system in your body, depositing oxygen and some of this life essence to every cell in your physical form to animate it. But it goes all the way around until it hits that light in the center of your chest. That's a fire inside of you burning. That oxygen is flammable, so when that oxygen hits that light, it creates a spark. Just like when you step in your car and turn the ignition, and the piston starts the tumbling. That tumbling is life in the physical body. When the spark of life is ignited by that oxygen hitting that internal light, that tumbling binds the spirit to the mud to create the living soul. And thus you begin your zero time reference of your first day, welcome to Earth. You are now an Earth inhabitant. You follow me? Now, every night when you go to sleep, and as long as you keep breathing, or as long as you don't run out of gas and that those pistons keep tumbling, that's what they call life. But for any reason, that tumbling stops, then life here on Earth as you know it, it ceases to exist. That doesn't mean that that's the end of you. That's the beginning of another ascension. Just like when you were born, you died from out of that reality, and when spanked and drew oxygen, you were born into this. You are sentient beings, and you were created immortal, and you're here to keep ascending back up into the source, into self-realization, remembering who and what you really are. That's my job, to help you and guide you that way. But there's some of you so involved in the world that you'll think it's frivolous to be bothered with the things I'm saying. And what I'm trying to show you, which quite the contrary, is the most important thing ever. Every night that you go to sleep, this happens. That spiritual essence, the real Trinity, that ball of light, travels up your spinal column, or Jacob's ladder, all the way up through the 7 heavens, 7 planes, the 7 chakras. When it gets to the crown mold of the top of your head, to the mouth of that etheric tube, that little thin, transparent, hollow tube, that ball of light raises up in vibration, which causes that tube to expand in the opening at the mouth of it. It gets wider and wider with the vibrations, like a woman dilating to give birth. When it becomes wide enough in the opening, the spiritual light inside the temple, not a building down the street, but the place on the side of your head next to your ears, that spiritual light raises up out of your physical body into that transparent hollow tube on your head. Now you've achieved nirvana or enlightenment, like Buddha or Jesus. When these people here say they see me outside teaching in the dark and then I light up, that's what's happening. My light, my inner light, have ascended up Jacob's ladder to my crown molar, raised up in vibration, and caused the etheric tube to expand, and the light expands over the top of my head through that transparent tube. You can see it now. Not through the body, but when it's outside, you can see that light. I know you saw it. And it surrounds the top of your head, and you call that an aura, or that light you see around the head of Jesus or Mary, etc. This happens, and then you travel you start going through that etheric tube. Everywhere you think about, you automatically appear there. You follow? Whether it's near or far. If you think you're in the next room, you're there. If you think you're on the playground in kindergarten, or if you think you're in the future, you're there. Or if you think you're in Virginia, you're there. If you think you're in California, you're there. If you think you're dreaming you're in New York, you're there. You're flying around in what they call astral flight, or an OBE, an out-of-body experience. Right? And after you get through entertaining yourself and going all the places you want to go and accomplishing all the things you want to accomplish, you start sliding back down that tube, the light does, and you pop back into your head, into the temple. A lot of you, when this happens, when you become conscious, you feel like you're paralyzed when you try to move too quickly. The country people say there's a witch riding your back. But you have to be asaburu, patient enough to allow that light to travel back down the light corridor of your spine and get properly reseated in the solar plexus in order to trigger electrical impulses of energy to cause muscles to twitch and react and recoil in certain ways, to operate and move your fingers and hands and eventually your toes and feet, so you can get back in your body and operate it again. Do you understand? So you are not that body. You are not that situation. You're only watching this happen from above. That's why many of you as children have been distraught and had reason to cry. And then you look in the mirror, and you know if you stare in the mirror into your eyes long enough and make a little twitch with your face, you can notice, don't ever do this in the dark, only in the light, you can notice that you can make a distinction between the being inside of you looking out at you and the one on the outside looking at you. Because that's the real you looking out through the lens at you crying in the mirror and thinking to itself, are you serious? You really taking this serious? And it starts laughing at you. It's funny. You really think that this diagnosis from the doctor or whatever, you really think this is that serious? This is nothing. And it starts laughing, and then you see the child laughing while it's crying. No, that's just a happening event. But the child is laughing while it's crying. Because God is laughing while you're crying. As you taking it so seriously. What's happening to your body that you think is you? You understand? And that's the cause of your misery. You think it's you. Make the journey within, and there'll be no more hell. So you see, and you're a whole light being. When you travel into other realms and places, you never felt like you were missing an arm or a leg. You felt whole, just like you do right now. Because that's what you are. You're a whole light being outside of the body. The body can't sustain itself without you, but you can sustain yourself without the body. People in near-death experiences have tragic accidents, and they're taken to an emergency room for operation. And they anesthetized them. The anesthesiologist will give them a gas like ether, which is a very fast vibrating gas. So when they inhale it, it starts making their spirit vibrate fast, very fast. You know what happens when your spirit vibrates fast? Just like it raises up outside your body. And people tell you that I was in the operating room and I looked up, I had my back to see, and I was looking down on the operating table, and I could see the doctors and nurses in my body. I saw everything they were doing. I heard everything they were saying. I could see and hear everything because you're not in that body. And while you're not in that body, they can take a butter knife and amputate your leg. Can you feel it? Well, can you? Family, can you answer and respond? Can you feel it when they operate on
No. No.
you?
No, you can't.
That's right, because you're not inside that body. And if you're going to make it and they can repair your body enough, then the real you slides back down the etheric tube and goes back into your body to reanimate your flesh. And then you start asking for pain medication because you can start feeling the pain waving over you again because you're back in that body. Now, you know they say there'll be a new heaven and a new earth, for the former things will have passed away. There'll be no more hunger, no more thirst, no more pain, no more tears, and no more death. Because you see, you've made your spiritual ascension and turned yourself inside out. And you shed the physical form. And you're a whole being, but you're a light being, a spiritual being. When does your spirit get sleepy or sick or age or
Never
die?
Never.
There'll be a new heaven and a new earth, for the former things will have passed away.
Yes. Yes.
But for those that's left behind, they were going to cling to that body until they're actually animated inside the grave or the crematorium. And that'll be the beginning of sorrows, trust me. When you're down there stuck with your body, inside your body, screaming, and nobody can hear you. Holding on to your money and your things. Your man, your woman, your children, your car. Let go. Come out of her, my people. Be ye not partaker of her chastisement. Come out of her, my people. You have to learn to be in the world, but not of the world. That's how you become an avatar, or an Ilamutajazadeh, divine incarnated in flesh. What I'm saying is that you don't have to die to become 720 degrees. But you have to completely detach yourself from the world to be a spiritual master. You cannot be carnal, physical. Don't you see? If you're attached to your children, your money, and your physical body, I'm so pretty, I'm handsome, I got muscles. Well, then you won't leave it, will you? Or your fame, your fortune, or whatever. Don't you see? that is your hell. Or that's what'll be your hell. So I'm trying to wake you up now and get your attention. But a lot of them tell me, say, look, I know you got a lot of wise things to say, brother. It's cute. I like to hear it. But I got to get mine. I don't have time to listen to you, Amun. Yeah, well, you wish you did. Because those of you that are asleep in this, so shall you be in the next. You should spend your time here reacquainting yourself with the real you and the real creator and the reality. Because you're not going to die and all of a sudden wake up with an epiphany. Oh, I know what's going on. No. You're going to be a spiritual being thinking you physical. You come out your body, even right now, and you run to the door and stop. Because you think that the door is a hindrance. But people that speak about extraterrestrials coming and visiting them, I woke up and they were standing over my bed. But your doors are locked. How did they get in there? You have to understand this. You are creators. Those are your walls, not theirs. Those are your walls, not theirs. You believe in those walls and they become your prison like you believe in that body. And if that house burns down or that body starts suffering, you suffer with it, don't you see? Because you believe that's really you. But you have an inner vision, an inner hearing, and an inner heart because God is inside the temple. Would you please wake up and remember who and what you really are? You can be in your house working all by yourself, and your wife or children or husband could be 1,000 miles away. And you hear him call your name. Kiefer. You say, huh? Yeah. And then you get embarrassed when you realize, what am I in? I'm the only one in here. But then the phone rings. I know, we all experienced it. And the phone rings. You pick it up, and it's them. And you say, look, I just heard you call my name in the house. You say, yeah, I was thinking about you, don't you see? That's that singularity, the one mind. Just like if you're reading a book, and a fly keep messing with you and irritating you, you get tired and you put the book down and pick up the fly swatter or the raid. What does the fly do? He fly away. But when you get tired, you put the book down. You pick the book back up and put the raid down. What does the fly do then?
It comes back.
That's right. So he's reading your mind, or is it that you have the same mind? And the fly knows it, but you forgot. You see? That's their CashApp records. And it's how birds find south without a map. They're in tune with the Creator, and thus the creation. You see? So when they're sent a guide or a lead bird, they know their leader, and they follow him like a shepherd. And they end up in paradise, warm, and the birds that think they're individuals, they don't need a guide, they always end up in the cold winter on their back with their feet up in the air and yellow tape, talking about how damn hard and cold the world is. Because they don't figure out their own, they don't need no spiritual guide. They don't need that. You don't think so? Now, I'd like you all to do a meditation with me. Just get very quiet and breathe deeply 7 times. Inhale, through your nostrils. Seeing that green and blue essence, that second, go into your nostrils. And then exhale, la, out through your mouth. Over your chest as hard as you can, 7 times. Okay, 1. Inhale. Now exhale. 2. Exhale. 3. Exhale. 4. Inhale. Exhale. 5. Exhale. 6. Inhale. Exhale. 7. Inhale. All right. If you did that right and you committed seriously to do it as hard as you could, you should feel kind of a euphoria, like a runner's high. Yeah, a little high. Now I want you to close your eyes and visualize. You can see that sun inside your chest. That light, it is the sun, and it's bright and it's brilliant. The light of the heavens and the earth is inside of that dark cavity you call a body. Your light is hid under a bushel basket, but it's still bright in there. But this time, I want you to visualize the full moon close to that sun inside your chest. And that full moon is getting closer and closer to the sun. Visualize that happening in your chest. And the full moon gets closer and closer to that sun. You have to understand that the moon is mind and time. The moon is mind and time. And the sun is God and timelessness. The inner sun is God and timelessness. As the moon, mind, and time moves into the sun, it merges with it. Now you've achieved what is called by some nirvana. And at this point, you can think of the thoughts that you want, what you want to achieve, or what you want to create, and you can manifest it right now if you follow my instructions. You should write these things down or record these classes so you can replay them all night on repeat. Now, I'm going to give you another visualization meditation. Imagine in your heart center, a small cube of light, a tiny cube of light. And it's starting to ascend up through your neck, all the way through your pineal gland. That cube of light, it travels up through your crown molar, out through the top of your head, and it goes 12 inches above your head, and it disperses. Now, at the same time, I want you to envision a cube of light just outside of your chest. And that cube of light starts ascending at an angle up through your nostrils. It comes up and it goes up into your nostrils, into your head. And then it descends down into your heart center. Now you have one cube of light going up and another one coming in and going down. They both deal with the heart center, but they never meet one another. If you keep practicing this exercise, you're going to achieve nirvana, or that enlightenment, where you feel empty blackness of space, timelessness. At the point of feeling that sensation, you can think of whatever it is you want to accomplish, and that thought will manifest. You have my word. Do you understand me? Do you need me to repeat that?
No.
Say it again.
No, I have it.
Sister. Okay, you do have it. Is this you, Cheryl?
Yes, it is.
I'm glad to hear your tone. All right, you do have it. And all of you should have the classes recorded so that you can play them every night. Because you may think you're listening to the classes, but you're not listening with your inner ear. Maybe. Some of you aren't. And so you think to yourself, yeah, that sounds hip, it's interesting, but I don't see why it's so deep. It's not more important than what I got going on, you know what I mean? I got stuff I need to be hearing other than that, more important than that. Yeah. Well, you better learn how to do OBE and out of body right now while you walking on the surface of the earth under the sun. Because I don't want to interrupt your heavy thoughts, but you're going to find this out one way or the other. Sooner or later, you're going to find it out. Now, that's a guarantee. Now, you can do this two ways. You can do this the easy way. And I know you know the rest of that. Some of you even sense it now, drawing closer. Don't ignore reality. All right. Now, who has questions about what they heard so far? Now's the time. When you were a little child, you used to sit and imagine, and you would think to yourself, they say God is real, he's up in heaven. I sure wish I knew God so I could just ask him anything I wanted to ask him. Remember that? Or have you become so entangled and engrossed in the world you actually forgot that? You remember it, don't you? Well, the time is now. I and my Father are one. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
I swear by the stars above your head. We are one.
Question.
So what? Yes, I'll do my best.
Okay, this cube of light, what color should we visualize it?
You can visualize it anywhere from bluish white to green. Whichever is simplest for you, you gravitate toward what's most comfortable for you. But I want to tell you that the green light is the realm of the angels. That's Malakut. You see, every one of your chakras or planes inside of your body, like the rainbows, has a specific color and tone. So at your root seat, in a woman and a man, that light is red. That's the cardinal seat. That's as debased as you can possibly get. But halfway through the midway point is the lotus breastplate, is the fourth plane. That's Malakut. That light is green, you see. But as you ascend up, you find out the pineal gland is blue light. So if you want to ascend back to the angelic realm, keep envisioning things green. If you want to ascend into God, see the light as blue. You find out that people that have OBEs, they always see themselves in a blue highlight. You did, that's right. A blue glow. You understand? So that's what I would suggest you look is for blue. Knowing that violet is the highest color in the spectrum and the last visible color in the light spectrum. Okay? You'll notice that on the walls of the pyramids, when you look up the Pharaoh Tut-Amun, that his skin color is blue, like Smurfs. You understand? Not brown like all the rest of the Egyptians. His skin color is blue. And you have some Egyptians on the walls, their skin color is green. You understand? All these things represent something. Amun is the blue light Pharaoh, and Millersville, Georgia, the seat of a modern-day Pharaoh. Certainly thou wert heedless of it, but today we have removed from thee thy veil. Your sight is sharp. Certainly we're heedless of it, but I'm a plain reminder. I'm only a plain reminder. I have no power to compel you. I can't force you to go to heaven or reconnect with the reality. But I suggest that you realize the importance and value of what it is that you're receiving, because the Most High Creator has unconditional love for you and has sent me down here into the bowels of hell to light your way back to Him, to paradise, to immortality, to all power, to glory. No more crying, no more hunger, no more sickness, no more death. For the former things will have passed away. And you could live that and experience that while in a physical body. Don't confuse that with death. You can reach enlightenment like Jesus did while you're still walking around. Do you understand that when he was baptized by his cousin John in the Jordan, that the craft appeared over his head and the white light descended on him, as the people described around him at that time as a dove, because it was the only thing that they could tell that was white, like that light that could fly, was a dove. But it was actually the light of the angel Gabriel descending down and went into his head. As soon as Gabriel went into Jesus, he ushered him away into the wilderness. And John was baffled, and he kept feeling around in the water for Jesus. He couldn't find him. And the Roman centurions that were standing on the hills along, waiting for anything and any reason to charge this man, they arrested John and charged him with the murder of his cousin Jesus. Isn't that crazy? And Salome danced for Herod, and she ordered John the Baptist's head on a silver charger. All that. But when Jesus was ushered away into wilderness, he was tempted by the devil. You heard it. Bow down to me, and I'll give you all the kingdoms of the world like they're his. This is a joke. His own ass ain't his. He said, "Get thee behind me, Satan. For it is written, the Lord God only shall I serve, and him alone shall I worship." Right. Not the things of the world, right? And Jesus went through 7 tests out there in the wilderness, like being tempted by the devil, beautiful women, riches, even knowledge. He passed all those tests. And he emerged to Ilamu to Jazaret. divine incarnated in flesh. So when he left that initiation and walked out to the Sea of Galilee, his disciples were out on the boat. Simon Peter, one of his beloved, hollered to him, "Master, bid ye me out into the waves." Jesus smiled while he started walking on the water towards the boat, because he was the spiritual master now. He was no longer affected by gravity, so he could walk on the water. He said, "Simon, I bid ye also to come out into the waves." And without thinking about it, Simon Peter jumped out the boat and started walking briskly on top of the water to Jesus. And like on the cartoon, after he got so far out there and almost to him, he thought about it. And that day the wind was kind of high and the sea was choppy. And he cast his glance to the side. For an instant he began to doubt, and he started sinking right away. Jesus grabbed his hand and picked him up, so, "Oh, ye of so little faith," and walked him back to the boat. And as the wind grew stronger and more tumultuous and turbulent, they all cried for fear of their physical bodies dying. And Jesus finally stood up and help! And he calmed down the raging sea and the wind, and he stopped it on that day. He was a master. And when he told the whole creation to move, it moved. When he had a person come to him sick, and they were in serious belief about who he was, he would ask them, "Do you believe that I can do this thing?" "Yes, then I can do it for you. And I've done it for many." But those worldly beings that have that doubt and they don't believe because they don't know, "I can't help, or I won't." You see? Because that's right. That's right. These things that I tell you are true. Let me tell you something in the Bible I want to remind you of. Many of you went to church and you heard Reverend Rib, Deacon Pork Chop, and Pastor Fried Chicken say that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things yet unseen. Through faith, we understand that the worlds were formed by the Word of God, so that things that are seen were not made by things which do appear. My question is, why haven't they ever explained the meaning of that to you? Or is it simply because they rhetorically repeat it, but they don't know what they're saying? Let me explain. Faith or belief. Do you believe that I can do this thing? Well, when you have faith and belief as a child, and you keep envisioning that first car, that bicycle, whatever it is you want, repetitionally, like your old folks used to have, little boy, little girl, big quit saying that, it's going to come true, yeah? Once you say a thing and believe it over and over again till it penetrates up into the super subconscious, it becomes reality. Because Fahu can do anything. Anything. So once you keep repeating it till it gets up to that point, it's a fact. And you go outside and you see that bike out there, that car parked in the driveway. I don't care if it's 3-tone with ball tires. It's your hoopty. And when you start driving it, you may not remember, but you start seeing a whole lot of cars just like yours the day you started driving that first car you had that you didn't recognize them before, because you're still in creative mode. Now, faith is the substance. I mean, the car you think is made out of metal and leather and rubber. It's not. It's made of faith. The substance that the car is made out of is your belief. Because you are a creator. You are Fahu. When you say to a thing be, it is. All can, you can. All does, you do. Move, star. Now, you created that car. Now, through faith, we understand that the world, meaning the sun, moon, and stars, and your hand on the phone, were formed by the Word of God. Say to a thing, be it is. So that things that are seen, such as your hand on the phone, or the stars in the sky, or the moon, were not made by things which do appear. Meaning I could ask you to go outside and look up at the stars. You say, yeah, I see it. If they point at the moon right there, say, you point, there it is right over there. But that's created like your body. But if I ask you now, point to the creator of it, you turn to me looking puzzled. Woo, 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 woo. I can't point to the creator. You can't see the creator. That's right, you can't. But you can see what it is he created, that physical body. Okay, now the thing is, the real question for serious minds, because fools answer, and it confuses me, I can't believe that in the depth of the height of ignorance they can ask, well, which is realist, the creation or the creator of it? The made or the maker? Which is realist? Remembering that you can have a mother without a child, but you can't have a child without a mother. Now, which is realist? Everybody answer me. The creation or the creator of it?
The creator of it.
Creator of it.
That's right. Well, you just affirmed to yourself and the world and the Most High that you know that the unseen is realer than the seen. Now ask me again why what I'm trying to communicate to you is more important than what you can see. Ask me again. Go ahead. In the height of ignorance, ask me again. And what is the value of this information? When people go to college for 4 and 8 years, what's their complaint? That they spend the rest of their life trying to pay off what? That's right. Now my question is the information that's coming through me more valuable, or the information inside them universities, or is this universal information more important and more valuable?
The information is coming through you.
But people are willing to spend a lifetime paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for lesser mysteries, for lesser information, right? But they complain about making a donation to me. And I'm out here risking my life like Martin Luther King and everybody to do this for you. I'm willing to be a willing sacrifice, crucified for you. And your senses revolt at a donation? Have you lost your senses? Have you lost your reasoning? What happened to you? Have you fallen that low? Have you lost touch with reality? Or is everything else more important? You got more important things to do than to post up the truth all over the world. You don't want to post up the truth because you figure that, what, the devil might not like it? The devil might not like it. Seriously. Are you serious? You should be honored to get this information out to everybody as fast as you can, as much as you possibly can, day and night. And support this mission in every conceivable possible way. Because this mission is supporting you. I'm his word made flesh to dwell among men. We used to see that picture as a child of Jesus Christ dropping down into hell with that loincloth wrapped around and one foot pointing down and one knee up, and he was dropping down in hell. That was me. I was sent down into the bowels of hell to try to talk to the fallen angels to see if anybody wants to change their mind before the stroke of 12 and you turn to a hot pumpkin. I'm telling you, it's not a joke. It's the last call. I think it's better now that we all stop and think. Forever's a long time. Put down your watches and calendars. Forever's a long time for you to get stuck on the wrong side of the ignorant pole. But real devils, they'll turn their ear away from this conversation and this call because they can't bear to hear the truth. It makes their senses revolt. Because you see, they already know the way. They know what they're doing. Except there's only one truth and one creator and one mind. So you see, the roads to hell are many. But the fine sirat to heaven is the fine filament that the righteous take, and they are saved. They seek refuge in the Creator's name, and they are saved. That's why all of you with me achieve the name Amun. Amun is in your name, so that we perform miracles in the name of Amun. That's the oneness. You see, it wasn't ego. It never was ego with me. It was reality. Don't you see? I know we're all one. And there's nobody else here except us. And there is no us without you. Spell it. That's right.
You're right.
That's right. No us without you. Now, who has a question that they'd like to ask, or questions?
Brother Amun,
Yes.
this is a question that has bothered me for years.
Okay, I'll do my
In
best.
fact, since 2002, 2003.
Mm-hmm.
Being that Malachi Z. York was such a prominent Mason, why did not other prominent Masons step up to aid him?
That's a good question. And I think the one asking the question knows better than the one being asked. Because when I walk you through the holy tablets, I'll let the real angel Michael answer that question for you in chapter 8, tablet 11. Remember that?
Yes.
Or would you like to revisit it for clarity?
Yeah, I would like to revisit it so that so that
I understand you, and you being smart and wise. Everybody get your holy tablets. We're going to chapter 8, tablet 11. Chapter 8, tablet 11. If you have the CD, holy tablets, take time to put it in the computer. And everybody gets the spiritual packages from me. I know you have the Torah and the holy tablets, the Injil and the holy tablets on CD. All right, chapter 8, tablet 11. In the salt pack, that's page 728.
And the hardback is $7.95.
$7.95, the hardback. Okay. Are you all ready?
Yes.
Are you there?
Sure.
Keith Amun?
Sure.
Okay. Keith Amun, are you there?
Yes, I
No, I'll
am.
walk through this. Okay. The parables which Melchizedek spoke with me before Melchizedek was myself, Malachi. Lord Melchizedek said to Malachi, you know that you as the servant of Ilion El are in a strange country, for your city is far from this city, and your world is far from this world. For your city in Risk is called Salem. There you are king. But your city in Tiamat, you must establish Salem. There you will be their servant. And then you know your city in which you are going to dwell, Why do you here prepare lands and costly establishments and buildings and vain dwellings? He therefore, that's Tamaray and all these places upstate New York, he therefore prepares these things for this city. Read on, Madudi.
3. He
Yeah.
therefore who prepares these things for this city is not able to return to his own city.
Read on.
4. O foolish and double-hearted and wretched man.
God and rich God. Rich angel. Oh, rich man. I see it now.
Yes. Do you not understand that all these things are foreign to you and are under the power of another?
Yeah.
5.
You see, that's what I was just telling y'all. Go ahead.
5. For the Adonai of this city will say, 6. I do not wish for you to dwell in my city, because you do not use my law.
There it is.
7. Okay, 7. If then you have fields and dwellings and many of her possessions. 8. When you are cast out by him, what will you do with your land and house? 9. All the other things which you have prepared for yourself. 10. For the Adonai of this country justly says to you.
There it is.
11. Should I continue?
Well, for the Adonai of this country justly says to you, either use my law or go for my country. What then are you going to do, seeing that you have a law in your own city? Will you, because of your fields and other possessions, that can be any individual, your possessions, altogether deny your law and walk in the law of this city? Take heed that it be not unprofitable you deny your law, for if you wish to return back to your city, you will not be received, because you have denied the law of your city, and you will not be received, because you will be excluded from it. So who is Michael Melchizedek saying is going to be excluded and can't go back to heaven and all that? That's right.
Malachi.
That's right, Malachi.
Malachi.
So his own family won't help him, but you want to know why earthly masons won't help him? Because they see him as a lawbreaker, just like Michael see him. You understand?
Okay.
These are not my words. This book was authored by Dr. Malachi Z. York, who said the master's guide is pen.
True.
That's right. 18, 17. For if you wish to return back to your city, you will not be received, because you have denied the law of your city. Not just this one, but he denied the law of his own city. And you will not be received, because you will be excluded from it. Take heed, then make no further preparations for yourself, beyond sufficient competence for yourself, as though you were living in a foreign country, and be ready in order that, whenever the master of the city wishes to expel you, why? For resisting his law, you may go out from his city and depart to your own law, suffering no harm. Take heed, then, you who serve Malachi, you who serve the Yahuwah of the Elohims, and keep Yahuwah of the Elohim in your heart. Do the deeds of Elion El, remembering his commands and the promises which Yahuwah of the Elohims made, and have faith in him, that Elion El will perform them, if his commandments be observed, not Malachi's or Amun's. Therefore, instead of lands, purchase afflicted souls as each is able. And if you can understand this, this is an example, like everything else the Creator does, for you, brother, and you, sister, to see. He's talking to you. Come out of her and look after widows and orphans and do not despise them. What does that mean? Okay, what it says. And, listen good, spend your wealth and all your establishments for such fields and houses as you have received from the Most High. For this reason did the Master make you rich, that you should fulfill these ministries for him. It is far better to purchase such lands and house as you will find in your own city when you go to it. It's a spiritual city. This wealth is beautiful and joyful and has neither grief nor fear or death, but has joy. Follow therefore not after the wealth of the heathen. Follow therefore not after the wealth of the heathen. Something about a camel and a needle. For it is unprofitable to you, who are the servants of Elion, not Satan. Follow your own wealth in which you can rejoice, and do not counterfeit nor touch that which is another's, nor desire it. For it is wicked to desire that which is another's. But do your own work. This mission is your work, and you shall be saved. Find your way to your land with Malachi on it, right? Find your way to that most holy place, Kadesh, for there I will meet you. You understand that?
I understand.
Right. Let's go on a little further. Okay, let's go outside here.
Amun 31.
I love you. Now, let's move. Cheryl, what you see in the skies of London, let's go out there and perform miracles for the people and for our own souls, because every time you do that, you strengthen your own spiritual muscles. But, Duty, I hope you really take time to do it this time. So, who's going to be the first one?
I have a look.
You
I think
outside?
it's raining. I think it's raining
Oh, it's
here
raining?
anyway.
Okay,
Yeah.
All right, okay. Well, you know how it is in London. Now, who else? In Florida is clear, and in Texas. Ark, what do you see? Keith Amun, what do you see in Tennessee? Who will be the first one? Fatah, what you see in Washington?
I'm going outside now.
All right. Fatah, what you got in Washington, D.C.?
Star.
All right. I see it. Now, y'all tell him that you understand. You can see what he's doing. Okay, Fatah, what you going to do with that star that we both see?
Move it to the right. The name of Amun-Rayay. It's moving right.
Hold up.
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Move it to the left. In the name of Amun-Rayay. Going left. Stop going a clockwise circle. Going clockwise.
Okay, but Duty, what you got in Florida?
Okay, I'm just getting out here. I had to go get my jacket.
I understand. You know what it's like in
Yeah, I
D.C. where
see
he's
it.
at up north. What do you see?
Yeah,
It's
I
raining
see.
here in Texas.
Go ahead, Maduti. What do you
I
see?
see a bright star. Yeah, I see a bright star.
Okay.
It seems to be like the brightest in that area.
So what you going to do with it? I see it.
Okay. Okay. In the name of Amun, circle clockwise.
What is it doing,
Okay.
It was circling clockwise,
It
right?
actually, yes.
Okay. Now what are you going to do with it now? Raise it up? Drop it down? What?
Okay. In the name of our moon, rise up.
Rising up. Going up.
What do you see it doing, my duty?
Okay, I see it. I see it circling. It seems like it's going in like in a spiral.
Wait a minute. You didn't see it go up. It wobbled at first,
Yeah.
but it went up. Okay, that's what you're supposed to. If you see it go up, you should say that to us. Now, what do you want to do now? Come down? Okay, come down.
Okay, yeah. In the name of our moon, drop down.
Drop it down.
Seems like it's coming closer to me.
You don't see it dropping down at all.
It's dropping down.
Yeah, it seems like it's moving closer to me.
Okay, but you didn't see it dropping down. Okay.
Oh, yeah, but see, maybe that's why it appears to be coming closer to me because it's dropping down.
Okay, there you go. Because some beings have a difficulty, describing what they see. And I don't believe that's you. Okay, so let's make it come closer to you. Come closer to, in the name of Amun.
Closer than close.
Moving closer.
Yeah, now go back out. Now move left as they
Moving back out.
Now up and over and move back to the
Dipping a
right.
little bit.
Yeah, it wobbled.
And that's what it did. It moved over to the right.
Yeah. All right, next person. Next disciple.
I'll go next. This is
What are you going to move?
This is Anukas. I see Orion clearly.
The Orion constellation, okay. What are you going to do with it?
In the name of Amun, raise up. It's raising up. Dipping a little. In the name of Amun, drop down. Coming down, little wobble. In the name of Amun, go to the right.
Far to the right.
Moving right. In the name of Amun, move back to the left.
Okay.
Far to the left.
I love you. Now, I love you. Thanks for being with us. All right, who's next? I love you.
I love you.
Okay. Go ahead, brother. What you going to move for us?
I want to move the whole creation in the name of the Messiah, Amun-Rayay.
All right.
I want to go up. Go up. It's going up. I want to go to the right in the name of the Messiah, Amun-Rayay. All creation. It's going to the right.
Up there with me.
Go to the left in the name of Amun-Rayay. All creation. It's going to the left. All creation, come closer. In the name of Messiah, Amun-Rayay. Come closer. Is it standing? Is it closer? Now go back. Go back. in the name of the Messiah, Amun-Rayay. And it's moving to the back side, left.
I love you. All right.
All right.
You all, come on, let's get back to these tablets. I have something I want to reveal to you. Because every time you perform a miracle, you strengthen your atrophied spiritual muscles. It's like a weightlifter pick up weights to strengthen his physical muscles. You want to have a strong spiritual light body? Keep performing these miracles with me, okay? Now, tablet 12. The rich and the poor. Are you with us, Madudi?
Yes, I'm grabbing my holy tablets now.
Unc, are you there?
Sheila, Amun, what chapter is it?
We're in the same place. We're going to go on to tablet 12. We left tablet 11. We're going
tablet 12.
Page 729.
729.
Yeah.
Tawahat.
The rich and the poor. Lo, while I was walking in the country, I noticed an elm and a vine. That's you and me. And was considering them and their fruits. When the shepherd appeared to me and said, what are you considering in yourself about the elm and the vine? The elm tree and the vine, right? They grew on it. I am considering, said I, that they are well suited to one another. These two trees, said he, are put as a type for the servants of Elyon El. I should like, said I, to know the type of the trees of which you speak. You see, said he, the vine and the elm? Yes, said I see them. This vine, said he, bears fruit, but the elm is a sterile tree. But this vine, if it do not grow up on the elm, cannot bear much fruit, because it is spread on the ground, and the fruit which it bears rotten, when it's not hanging on the elm. When therefore the vine is attached to the elm, it bears fruit from itself and from the elm. You see then that the elm gives much fruit, not less than the vine, but rather more. How, said I, does it bear more? Donations. Because, said he, the vine, when it hangs on the elm, gives much beautiful fruit. But when it is lying on the ground, it bears but little fruit and rotten. The parable therefore applies to the servants of Elyon El, to poor and the rich. How, said I, let me know. Listen, said he, the rich man has much wealth, but he is poor, as touching Elyon El, being busied about his riches. And his intercession and confession towards Yahuwah is very small. And that which he has is weak and small, and has no other power. But which the rich man rest upon the poor, and give him what he needs. He believes that what he does to the poor man can find a reward with Elyon El. Because the poor is rich in intercession and confession, and in his intercession has great power with Elyon El, the rich man therefore helps the poor in all things without doubting. But the poor man being helped by the rich makes intercession to Elyon El, giving him thanks for him who gave to him. And the rich man is still zealous for the poor man, though he fall not in his life. For he knows that the intercession of the poor is acceptable and rich towards the Yahuwah. Therefore the two together complete the work. For the poor works in the intercession in which he is rich, and he received from the Yahuwah. This he pays to Yahuwah who helps him. And the rich man likewise provides the poor without hesitating with the wealth which he received from the Adonai. And this work is great and acceptable with Elyon, because he was overstanding in his wealth, and has wrought for the poor man from the gifts of Yahuwah, and fulfilled his ministry rightly. Among men, therefore, the elm appears as if it bore no fruit, and they do not know nor overstand that there is drought. The elm, which is water, nourishes the vine, and the vine, having water continuously, gives double fruit, both for itself and for the elm. So also the poor interceding with Yahuwah for the rich complement their wealth. And again, the rich helping the poor with their necessities complement their prayers. Both, therefore, share in the righteous work. Therefore, he who does these things shall not be deserted by Elyon, but shall be inscribed in the scrolls of the living. Blessed are they who are wealthy and overstand that their riches are from the Most High. For he overstands, this will also be able to do some good service. One more here. The trees. I want y'all to have an overstanding. Wisdom. Lo, Melchizedek showed I, Malachi, many trees without leaves. They appeared to me to be as if dry, for they were all alike. And Melchizedek said to I, Malachi, do you see these trees? Yes, said I, and I see that they are all alike and dry. And he answered me and said, these trees which you see are they who dwell in this world. Why then, said I, are they all alike, dry? And he answered me and said, in this world neither righteous nor sinners are apparent, but are all alike. For this world is winter for the righteous, and they are not apparent, though they are living with sinners. For just as in the winter the trees which have shed their leaves are alike, and it is not apparent which are dry and which are alive, so in this world neither the righteous nor the sinners are apparent, but all are alike. Melchizedek showed I again many trees, some budding, and some withered, and said to me, do you see, said he, these trees? I see them, said I, some budding and some withered. These trees, said he, which are budding, are the righteous, who are destined to live in the world to come. For the world to come is summer for the righteous, but winter for the sinners. When therefore the mercy of Elyon shall shine, then the servants of Elyon shall be made plain, and all Adamites shall be made apparent. For just as in the summer the fruit of each individual tree is made plain, and they are recognized for what they are, so also the fruit of the righteous will be plain, and they will be made known by blossoming in that world. But the heathen and the sinners, the withered trees which you saw, will be found to be such, dried and fruitless in that world, and they shall be burnt up like wood, and shall be made manifest, because their conduct was wicked in their lives. For the sinners shall be burnt because they sinned and did not repent, and the heathen shall be burnt, because they did not know their Creator. Be therefore fruitful, that your fruit may be known in that summer, but abstain from much business, and you will do no sin. For those who do much business and serving Elion in nothing, how then, said he, can such a one pray for anything from Elion and receive it, when he does not serve Elion? They who serve him, they shall receive their request, but they who do not serve him, they shall receive nothing. But if anyone be occupied with but one business, he can serve Elion also. For his overstanding is not corrupted away from Elion, but he will serve him with a pure mind. If therefore you do this, you can bear fruit for the world to come. And whosoever does this shall bear fruit. And I'd like to go on with some of these parables in the next class because they really are thought-provocative and make you understand things from a much, much deeper perspective. Is everybody following me?
Yeah.
Tua.
Okay.
Sure.
I had a request for tablet 14. Vain fasting. Lo, while I was fasting and sitting on a certain mountain and thanking the Most High for all that he had done with me, I saw the shepherd sitting by me and saying, why have you come here so early? Because, said I have a station. What is a station, said he. I am fasting, said I, as I have been accustomed. You do not know, said he, how to fast to Elion. And this useless fast, which you are now fasting to him, is not a fast. I tell you, said he, that this fast which you think to fast is nothing. But I will teach you what is a fast acceptable and complete to the Most High. Listen, said he, Elion does not wish such a vain fast. For if you thus fast to Elion, you do nothing for righteousness, but fast to Elion in this way. Do nothing evil in your life, but serve Elion with a pure heart. Keep his commandment and walk in his ordinances, and let no evil desire arise in your heart, but have faith in Elion, that if you do these things and fear him and refrain from wicked acts, you shall live to see Elion. You shall live to see Elion. And if you do this, you will fulfill a great fast and one acceptable to Elion. Yeah. I have to do one more, 15. The servant and the vineyard. Lo, listen to the parable which I'm going to tell you concerning fasting. A certain man had a field and many servants, and on part of the field he planted a vineyard. And he chose a certain servant who was faithful and good esteem and honor with him, and he called him and said to him, take this vineyard which I have planted and fence it until I come, and do nothing more to the vineyard. And follow this order of mine, and you shall have your freedom from me. And the master of the servant went abroad. Now, when he had gone, the servant took and fenced the vineyard. And when he had finished the fencing of the vineyard, he saw that the vineyard was full of weed. Therefore he reasoned in himself, saying, well, see, I have finished this order of the Adonai. I will next dig this vineyard, and it will be better when it is dug. And having no weeds, it will yield more fruit, not being choked by the weeds. He took and dug the vineyard and pulled out all the weeds that were in the vineyard. And that vineyard became very beautiful and fertile with no weeds to choke it. After a time, the master of the servant of the field came, and he entered into the vineyard, and seeing the vineyard beautifully fenced, and moreover dug, and all the weeds pulled up, and the vines fertile, he was greatly pleased at the acts of the servant. So he called his beloved son, whom he had as heir, and his friends whom he had as counselors. And he told them what he had ordered his servant, and what he had found accomplished. And they congratulated the servant on the character which the master gave to him. And he said to them, I promised this servant his freedom, if he kept the orders, and has added good work in the vineyard, and greatly pleased me. So in reward for this work, when he was done, I wish to make him joint heir with my son. Because when he had an agreeable thought, he did not put it on one side, but carried it out. The son of the master agreed with this plan, that the servant should be made joint heir with the son. After a few days, he made a feast and sent to him much food from the feast. But the servant took the food which was sent to him by the master, kept sufficient for himself, and distributed the rest to his fellow servants. And his fellow servants were glad when they received the food, and began to pray for him, that he might find greater favor with his master, because he had treated them thus. His master heard all these events, and again rejoiced greatly at his conduct. The master again assembled his friends and his son, and reported to them what he had done with the food which he had received. And they were still more pleased that the servant should be made joint heir with his son. All right? And all of you, contact me and let me know when you get your packages. I need to walk you through them. I love you all unconditionally, and I hope that we gain something to begin the new year in earnest. Do you agree?
Yes.
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 All right, we are one love and on one accord with one mind. Peace, authority, Amun-Rayay, Asa, servant to the 144,000.